Hello friends, fellow co-creators, and other curious beings. This is part 2 of 2 on my Karuna session experience. So if you have not watched my before video, I'll put a link below. Go ahead and hit me up on that one, and then, you know, get on to this one. So yeah, I had my first Karuna session today, and it was really, it was so special. It was beautiful. It was holy. It was sacred. It was fun. It was lighthearted. It was incredibly deep and profound. It was really, really special. It was performed with my friend Epiphany Jordan, and then a woman, Kabi, this beautiful young woman, African woman. She's just like beautiful on every dimension. Like, she's such a lovely creature. And I felt right away when I met her, I felt safe and comfortable. And, you know, I knew right away I was going to have a really special experience. We did photograph the event. They asked me if it was okay. I said yes, because, and why I'm making these videos as well, is the importance of the work. Non-sexual nurturing touch, I think we all need it. And I think one of the things that's come up for me in this whole experience is, you know, I think, especially for women, I think it is true for men as well, but often we jump into a sexual encounter really, I think, desiring that deep, intimate, nurturing human touch, not necessarily sexual, but we kind of engage that way because we're wanting that touch and we know we'll get something. And then often there's something called ghosting in dating these days, where like you have this experience with this guy and it could even be really great. You have sex together and then they disappear. And this can be devastating. I mean, it's a really messed up thing going on in our culture. It just really shows like the disconnect that people have around touch and intimacy. And, you know, I think with all of our devices and, you know, spending so much time at the screen, and, you know, not having so much interaction with other people and eye contact and touch, this work is just, it really is groundbreaking. I mean, it's phenomenal work. So, you know, I started out, they had me sit on the deck and while they, you know, prepared the environment, and it was a beautiful day and I just got fresh air and it was lovely. And then I was, you know, I was invited in, and when you come in, there's a framed sign in the door, and it just welcomes you and lets you know you're entering sacred space, and to put your keys and your phone in the crystal bowl by the door, you know, take off your shoes and socks and sit on the couch and you'll be greeted. So, you know, I did so. And Epiphany came out, and, you know, they had these really beautiful room dividers that kind of gave it sort of, you know, separated different elements of the space here. And, yeah, and so she greeted me and was really, you know, warm and friendly. And then, you know, Kabi came out, and we all held hands at the beginning, and just kind of bonded, the three of us together, and that was really lovely. And then I sat down in a chair and I had my feet bathed by Kabi. It was so, it smelled so good, and the water was just, you know, kind of soapy and soft, and it just felt so nice. And they made it very clear, you know, this is sensual touch, not sexual touch, which, you know, obviously I knew. But, you know, the boundaries were very clear and noted, you know, from the get-go. And, that was really nice. And then, and, you know, something I love, like, you know, we had some fun, you know, like funny things came up or whatever. And it was just, you were free to laugh. Like, we all had some really, really, really good laughs, which was, you know, which was great. Because, you know, with the touch and it could be awkward. I think some people might feel a little nervous, I mean, I felt a little bit, but I knew I was in safe space and I was going to be okay. But, it was fun that we could laugh and be loose about it and light about it, and also rest into profound intimacy, safe, non-sexual, nurturing touch. And then there was a cushion for me to sit down on in front of the altar, and they said just pick up anything you're attracted to, feel free to pick it up and touch it or whatever. And I started out picking out this kind of like jade goddess. She was kind of beautiful and this really abundant like goddess, and then I ended up picking up this really big crystal. And I just had this whole experience with the crystal, like putting it at my heart, putting it at my belly, putting it on my forehead. And that was really, really, really nice. And then I got up and they asked me to, go into the bathroom, and there was an outfit for me to put on. And it was this beautiful, like really soft, like white cotton, like a very loose, long top, and these very baggy white pants. So you're just so comfortable. And I did feel like, like this holy person or something. I just felt like this sacred outfit, like I was ready to pray or something. And I came out and I laid on the bed, and it was really wonderful. And I may not be in the exact order of how things were, but I'm trying to kind of like review it. But, everything they did, they asked me may we touch your hands? May we touch your hair? So I was laying there and I had my hands on my heart, and then they both took my hands. And something really beautiful is they worked synchronistically. So they both were stroking my hand in the same way. It was really a good feeling. It was like you weren't divided at all, and it really connected the three of us. I could really feel those two were connected, but they were connected through working with me. And so it was a really cool feeling, beautiful feeling. And, so they touched, my arms, my belly, my head, my hair, my legs. Something I really liked, that when they got to my knees, they had like one hand underneath and one hand on top, and they kind of put this pressure on, and it really felt good. Like, I don't know, my knees were just like, wow, it feels really good. And then my feet were, they massaged my feet with lotion. It felt really good. It was just so like healing and nice and connecting, and it was so refreshing to not like have any sexual energy involved. It was purely like nurturing human touch, and it was all about nurturing me. And then they worked on my back, same thing, went through my body. And what was something I really nice, they had some beautiful music playing, and then there was a bell, and every time the bell, went off, they moved on to the next thing. So I early on realized whenever the bell happened, there was going to be a little change. And so I really liked that. And then there was the cuddling part. And half of the time of the cuddling, which was maybe like 5 minutes each side, something like that. One side I would be resting on Kabi's, in the crest of her kind of neck, and then I turned over and I rested, with Epiphany, but we were all hugging together. It was like, and the two of them were touching too. So beautiful. And it was, that's like the real maternal part. Like, you see like infants just like nestling in their mother's breast. And it really is like soothing, and it's so soft and comfortable. And I was just like nestled in with these two women, and it was so lovely. It was like, thank you. Thank you for letting me be a baby. At one point I felt like a little bird. They were moving my arms like kind of up and down. And I had that little, I did have baby feelings. I really did. And it was just wonderful. So we had the cuddling, and I felt safe. And then we had some giggles, There were some giggles, but then there was really quiet, like deep, blissful, eternal peacefulness time. And then after the cuddling, they put a body pillow like in the front of my body and in between my legs, and then they swaddled me in a blanket, and then they each kissed my cheek, which was, you know, two of the sweetest kisses I think I've ever had. And then they just kind of stroked down my body and just kind of released me, and then I rested for a little while, you know, maybe 5 or so minutes again, and then Epiphany comes up. She's like, "Good morning, Eliza," you know, and it was wonderful. And I got up and changed my clothes, and I came out, and they were all sitting around the couch, and there was, you know, beautiful nuts and dried fruit and chocolates and hot tea, and we all just sat and talked. You know, we just talked about the experience. We talked about, you know, our society and culture, and, you know, we talked a lot about, you know, I just kept thinking about, you know, retirement communities and how important this could be for you know, our, you know, for the older population, you know, who really can be disconnected from touch. It was just lovely. And it was so, you know, here we are, 4 women, because there was a photographer too. It was completely a part of the experience. Like, you know, there was an interactive experience with her she's awesome too. Her name's Wendy, and she's great. And I really felt safe and comfortable with her. And, you know, we all had just this wonderful experience together. So anyway, that was my first experience with a Karuna session. And, you know, it just feels like, gosh, you know, it's something you could do like every month, you know, like have your Karuna session. You know, I could see that being incredibly healthy. And I also think it could really calm, if you're feeling needy for touch and maybe needy for a guy or something, I think it could really help calm things down and like fulfill, you know, your need for deep touch and being held and cradled and loved, you know, without engaging maybe prematurely with another person. So anyway, that was like one of the biggest things that came up for me. So anyway, that was my first experience. It was so wonderful. And I'm so glad I had the experience. It just opened my eyes to things in so many ways. So I hope these videos were helpful to you. Remember, you know, go check out Epiphany's book, Epiphany Jordan, Somebody Hold Me, The Single Person's Guide to Nurturing Human Touch. You can get it on Amazon. It's a fantastic book and a real entryway into understanding touch and human beings. Okay, so it's my experience. Take care. Ciao.